places in the Wexford area, South Wexford beaches, which are these ones here. So we're going to sort of focus on this area here where my cursor is. Wrasse is a place where we'll look at some accommodation and stuff like that. So you've got Hook Lighthouse right the way through to Kilmore Quay. So obviously there's Wexford just there, and you can catch the ferry from Wales, Milford Haven, Pembrokeshire, Fishguard. Fishguard here, I think there's a Stena Line ferry runs 2 crossings per day. You have to excuse my voice, it's a little bit croaky because I've keep picking up bugs at the minute. There's a lot of bugs going around. So anyway, enough of that. So Rosslare, it's not far, you know, if you're coming across in your car, obviously, it's not far for you to drive once you get to Ireland and you're in Ireland, and there is some exceptionally good fishing here for bass in the spring and autumn. For some reason, my mind is saying, from what information I gather, that September is probably a better month for some good fish, only because I've seen some videos and stuff done on it, and that's when they went over there. But I still really think May would be a good time. May and early June would be a good time there. I don't know. I've never been there. I've never fished it. But anyway, let's just dive in. What have we got? So let's just look at Hook Head, this area here. There's some good accommodation here in Wrasse in here, and you're close to everywhere. So let's just say we want to go the Hook Head area, this area around here. So I know it's popular with match fishing and the rocks, and there's off the rocks there's a number of competitions. Road access, it looks like some good road access and paths. So you've got, depending on where you're fishing, you have to scope it out, how deep it looked. But the bottom, it's saying the bottom is the seabed is sand, mud, through some very foul ground. So a variety of fish and species can be expected. People tend to fish the eastern side, although there are excellent marks to the west, reputedly. So the eastern side is this. So a lot of people fish inside this area here, but the west has got some good stuff as well. So I suppose it's depending on what the wind's doing and stuff, which side you're going to go. And so talk about spinning and float fishing for Pollack, Coalfish and Mackerel in season. Also some excellent Wrasse fishing there. Bottom fishing over rough ground will find you the Conger. Also you'll get your tackle losses as well. Rockling and Dogfish. Me for one, not that interested in Rockling and Dogfish, but that'd be a bycatch there, with the possibilities of flatfish and the old bass over the sandy areas. So with regards to the flatfish, apparently this whole area has got a bit of a reputation for some big flounders. If you like flounders, and bass as well. So that is the Hook Head area, this area here. So if you want to do a spot of Wrasse fishing on a certain day, you can do. The Wrasse fishing is probably going to be a bit better around about July time, in the summer months, I would say. But who's to say that it's not good all year round? You're going to get a bit better weather as well. The disadvantage of in the middle of the summer going, your bass aren't going to be so big. They'll be there, but they won't be. The big ones won't be there. I'm pretty confident of that anyway. So this area here, this one disadvantage of this whole area along here is if you go online and look at photographs of the beaches and stuff like that, it's some hideous amounts of weed which seem to get washed up here. So there's obviously quite a bit of tide, and the prevailing winds, you know, it's obviously quite kelpy out here. You must get a lot of storms, and there's a lot of weed, and they say it renders the beach fishing useless. And if it is like that, they say duck in to the estuaries, which are these estuaries in here, and do your fishing in here. Look for places where you can get away from all you know, the weed and all that sort of stuff. Obviously, if you're fishing these main beaches, you need a good surf for the bass. Okay, so if you've had a prolonged spell or a few days of sort of storm surf, you know, it's you'll be careful with your timing, because you could sort of run into the weed and stuff like that. So what you want to try and do is the sea is sort of got a good swell on and a good surf, you want to sort of be there like that day or the day after. You don't want to be there and turn up. You'll see the amounts of weed on the beach, and if you're seeing a lot of weed on the beach, then don't bother. Or if you're going to start to fish and you get caught up in a lot of weed, have a sort of a plan B to sort of to move. If you go in these estuaries here, you won't get hassled by that. So anyway, so number 2 on the list, I've got Bannow, which is this here, Bannow Island. So whether it's the Bannow estuary, I do not know. But this whole area in here is pretty tasty, apparently, for some quite good fish. So it says there's 2 estuaries here, and fishing into the main river channels from the northern marks is well known and popular. So 2 fishing places here. You can access it from this end and walk up. But I think this area here is where you would sort of park. It wouldn't be too far away from accommodation in Flatfish. There's some nice holiday homes in here. And you can walk up. And for me, this whole surf casting into this area would be quite good, where my cursor is. Excuse me, I'm going to sneeze. Oh, no, I won't. Sorry, I apologise. This big channel in here, so with regards to the ebb tide, so if you follow my cursor, the ebb tide's going to be spewing into here. No, hang on, no. It's going to flood into here, right? And it's going to ebb out like this, okay? So flood or ebb, you know, as long as there's plenty of sort of tide, there's no reason why you couldn't, you know, you can't get on both. I've seen videos where I think the guys are fishing, they're wading out here a little bit, and maybe off this peninsula here, this little bit of sand here, and they're casting peeler crab baits into this area here, fishing out the back in here. I'm not so sure they're fishing right in the channel, but there'd be too much current there. They're fishing in these areas here, just where it sort of is not quite so strong. It's a bit like salmon fishing, really. And anyway, so yeah, the north marks are well known and popular. So surf and bottom fishing will produce flounder, bass, and the odd sea trout fall into spin tackle, akin to Ballyquin Strand in Waterford. These twin marks are renowned for the quality rather than quantity of fish caught by sea anglers. So there's some good fish to be caught. I've seen videos with peeler crab being used here, and the bass are really quite good. So you just have to sort of really just turn up and just, you know, and just use your skill really on what you want to do. There's no reason why metal spinners wouldn't work in this area here, and plugs and things like that. So let's come away from the estuary. The estuary is where you go when there's when there is weed about. That's where you go, but you might well go there anyway, or give it a go for a certain period of time, like an hour before, an hour after low water, something like that, and then maybe fish the flood on one of these pitches. Remember, if you go, and you're probably going to be there for a week, so you want to make the most of your time there. What we got? So this is another area, Duncannon Beach. I can't remember what it's called. If I zoom in, will it show me? Don't think it will. Lacken, that Lacken area. So there's another one here. Look, there's another sort of estuary here, lagoon estuary. Looks like you better get some lugworm from there. It's quite a biggish area. It doesn't look like you can walk up from this way. You can see some paths and things there, but it looks like the best access is parking in this car park and then walking to the river mouth. This area here. I don't know what the snags are like out there. They look snaggy just here on my cursor is, and maybe just there. But, you know, you never know. You might be able to surf cast it there. No doubt. So what does it say? So this is Bannow Beach, I believe. Yeah, no, Burrow. Where's Bannow Beach then? Burrow Beach I've got here. The Burrow Shore. Here we are. Right, so it's a well-known marks, popular for competitions. There's a lot of matches there. Best fished either side of low water. It features a mini mark known locally as Hole at the Burrow. This is about 150 metres from the car park. So car park there, the Hole at the Burrow. So it's probably this river mouth here, I would imagine. This sort of area there. So surf and bottom fishing will produce flounder, bass, and the odd sea trout. No, sorry, I read that wrong. Surfing techniques. To find the bass, you need a good surf up. Yeah, so like I say, all beaches, even where I locally fish in Norfolk, that's like, you know, you need a bit of surf. It's quite noticeable. You go fishing on a flat calm day, you'll catch a bass, and you go when there's a good calm sea, but a real good lump on, a good swell and a good surf, you'd be surprised. You know, it won't just be one bass; it'll be 5 or 6. You know, it's because the bottom's getting stirred up, and they seem to know when to come in to feed, and that makes their food quarry much easier to get hold of. They come in when they know the food's there. You see, and yeah. So whiting, codling, coalfish, and flatfish. Predominantly flounder, so it sounds like there might be some others there as well, different types of flatties there. The odd ray and smooth hound in warm weather, especially after dark. Tope also don't frequent the area in summer. Dogfish common. Lugworm, crab and mackerel are the commonly used baits on this mark. So, I mean, I'm not going to dwell too much more. So with a net, just I mean, with regards to an area, I mean, it's Kilmore-Quay. If you like a bit of boat fishing, you can, you know, there's plenty of boats at Kilmore-Quay, and you can go out there and go after your Pollack and Conger and things like that. But the whole area along here, from what I've just sort of said, really, you can fish this side as well. It's actually a very, very good mark, a good area, close to the ferry terminal. And you know, you hang, and it's all. If you were staying somewhere like this, you ain't got far to go. You know, depending on what the wind's doing, it's like it looks like you can always get some sort of fishing done, depending on what the wind's doing. You know, if it's blowing northeast, then you know, you can tuck in here. You can, you know, depending on you can. Obviously, these beaches might be ruled out, but you can always get in and do something. I think the mullet fishing is quite good in there as well. So if you bring your float gear, you know, you might be able to sort of sight some mullet and bits and pieces like that. It looks like it's an area where you can always, you know, get some sort of fishing done, some sort of rock fishing or something. And they do get some very big bass there in this area here. There's a video by. I'm not sure it's online, but I used to own the video. I bought it about 15 years ago, something like that. It's quite an old one now. But there's a chap called Henry Gilby. He went fishing with a friend, a chap who lived there. He was English. He was from Newcastle or something like that, I think. And they fished these areas around here. I think this side they fished. They definitely fished this area here. And he went with his little dog, and they caught some. They caught some nice bass. I think they might have fished this area here as well. But I do know for a fact that they went here, and this is where they done the video. There's some rock fishing. They went rock fishing for bass as well, and that may have been sort of this area here, or I think it might have even been this calm beach or these rocky sort of headlands here. They went sort of back bass fishing off there. I believe that's where they were anyway. Could even been St Helens Golf Club Resort, just down from Waterford Harbour. Could have even been these rocks here, I'm not sure. But yeah, so if you wanted to do on a bass trip, and you didn't want to drive too far once you got to Ireland, that's as good a spot as anywhere really. The only other place I would suggest, only other place I suggest, one which would strike me as quite good for bass, is this Dingle Peninsula here, Inch Beach, which is there, but it's a lot further to drive. It's a I have been there many years ago. I was there about 30 years ago. Don't know what it's like there now. But yeah, for me, if you didn't want to sort of venture too far, and if you went sort of outside of the school holidays, maybe the end of May, something like that might be quite good. But you do roll a dice with the weather. You've got to book your accommodation. Well, not necessarily you haven't got to book your accommodation. The old saying goes on these fishing holidays, if you can leave it to the last minute, or you've got a job where you can head off when the weather looks good, that's when you need to go. A lot of these holidays are booked way in advance, and you just literally roll the dice whether the weather's going to be in your favour or not, depending on what you're going to do. You can always usually find something, but you'd rather be there when the things are right and the tides are right. Do you know what I'm saying? It's all about timing and getting that timing. People who've sort of got these jobs where they can head off and go and fish these remote places when the weather looks good, well, they make it all look easy, but that's because they got the timing right, you see. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. That is south of Wexford, just focusing on this area in here, and yeah, that'd be a nice week's fishing there, that's for sure. Okay, guys, I will see you later. Thanks for watching.